Hi, welcome to another episode of EdTech Moment, where we show you how to quickly integrate technology into your classroom. I'm Bill Selleck, and we are starting a new series. We're going to be looking at GarageBand. Very basic introduction about software instruments, real instruments, how either for you to get an introduction to GarageBand, or how to introduce your students to GarageBand. Let's jump into it. When you open GarageBand, you have a handful of presets. In future episodes, we're going to look at both movie and podcast. But for now, let's go with piano. It's the simplest one, easy to customize. I'm going to give you a great overview if you're brand new to GarageBand as a teacher, or if you want to introduce GarageBand to students. This is similar to what I would do. So I'll call this EdTech Moment Rock Tune. I like to pick my tempo somewhere around 80 to get started, and for now I'll just save it on my desktop. It's important to tell your students that they know where they save it and both what they're calling it. Because if they're working on their own, you don't want them to do all this time and then just save it in documents and call it my song. Not a very good workflow. So, give them good computer skills while you're giving them the GarageBand tutorial. By default, it's going to pop up, be right here, just a piano. Not too helpful. You don't even need to buy a keyboard or worry about anything. Musical typing is also up here. Window musical typing. So now when I hit ADG, it's going to be a nice C chord. Not ideal, but you'd be surprised at what you can pull off with this. So when I'm ready to record, I want to make sure I have a metronome and it's going to count me in. Let's record a little something. If I hit return, it gives me back to my beginning. Spacebar will start and stop. If I double click on this or hit Command E, it brings up my editor. So there's what I played. I can see my timeline here. I can view this either as piano roll, which is helpful to show students here's what eighth notes look like, here's what a quarter note looks like, here's what a half note looks like. They can visually see half notes are twice as long as quarter, quarter twice as long as eighth. But I want them to actually read music, so here it is. Because I clicked record, and this is a green instrument, it's a software instrument. That means I can do a few things. I can change my length of note. If I want to make that shorter, now it's a quarter note. Undo that, it's longer. I can also change the pitch just by going up or down or dragging. I like it the way it is. So now I'm set. I can zoom in, get that back up to the G. And we're set. If I want to change that sound, this is my track info. I can click here to show or hide info. Also Command I to show or hide info. I let my students raise their hand and suggest different instruments. They're probably going to want electric guitar. This is the only guitar that sounds good, by the way. Now I can tell that's too low, so I can bring it here, hit return, spacebar. Excellent. This is what a software instrument looks like. If I want a real instrument, those are going to be blue. All of my loops, both software and real instrument loops, show up here. Command L for loops will also get me to this. Students are probably going to want drums. If I'm short on time, I'll already have this timeline preloaded. If not, I'll do this in real time. So all drums, I want acoustic drums to match this. And let's see what would sound good with it. I have a couple jam packs, so I'm going to have more drums than you will, but you still have a lot of options, especially with your classroom. So that'll work. If I want to add to my timeline, click and drag. Very simple. It's going to create a new track. But if you notice, I'll hit spacebar so you can hear the difference. Oh no, we want the drums to be longer. Here's how we make them longer. Top right corner, click and drag. Now we have 8 measures worth of drums. Same thing with guitar. 8 measures worth of guitar. Spacebar to play. Very basic mix, louder, quieter, somewhere around there is good. And we're done. So, hide the loop browser. I can come over here, and you can see these are grayed out because they're repeated. If I hit return and go to the original one, I can only change the original, not the repeats. I can't change anything with the drums because they're real drums. That's why it's blue and they're sound waves. Last step I'll do with my students, come up to Share and export the song to disk. Higher quality is a fantastic preset. I prefer MP3, that way it's easy to add to websites. So click Export, and we're done. Please visit us at edtechmoment.com for many more edu-awesome tutorials. While you're at edtechmoment.com, visit our tip jar, help keep EdTech Moment sustainable. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us in iTunes. You can always tweet at us. We are at edtechmoment, or if you're a little old-fashioned, you can just email us feedback@edtechmoment.com if you have questions or any suggestions. Thanks for taking just a moment.